Hello, friends, and welcome to Storytime. Today we're going to be reading the book Sheila Rae, the Brave. This book is written and illustrated by Kevin Henkes. So this is the front cover, this is the back cover, and this is the spine. And you can see the spine says Sheila Rae, the Brave. Okay, friends, let's get started. Sheila Rae, the Brave. This is the title page. Sheila Rae wasn't afraid of anything. So look, you can see here, she's standing on one foot on a chair. Her eyes are closed and she's kissing a spider. Look, her sister is looking on with horror. She wasn't afraid of the dark. Here her sister says, "Are you sleeping, Sheila Rae?" And she wasn't afraid of thunder and lightning. So her sister's covering her ears and Sheila Rae is staring out the window. And she wasn't afraid of the big black dog at the end of the block. So here she's fighting with the dog to get her toy back. At dinner, Sheila Rae made believe that the cherries in her fruit cocktail were the eyes of dead bears, and she ate 5 of them. So she's eating them, and her sister is hiding under the tablecloth. At school, Sheila Rae giggled when the principal walked by. And when her classmate Wendell stole her jump rope during recess, Sheila Rae tied him up until the bell rang. "I am very brave," Sheila Rae said, patting herself on the back. Sheila Rae stepped on every crack in the sidewalk without fear, because there's a saying that if you step on a crack, it'll break your mother's back. So she's stepping on them because she doesn't care about that. And her sister is stepping over them. When her sister Louise said there was a monster in the closet, Sheila Rae attacked the monster. And she rode her bicycle no-handed with her eyes closed. Yeah, Sheila Rae," her friends yelled, clapping their hands. One day, Sheila Rae decided to walk home from school a new way. Louise was afraid to. "You're too brave for me," Louise said. "You're always such a scaredy-cat," Sheila Rae called. "Am not," whispered Louise. So she starts walking home a new way. But it looks like her sister is coming too, but she is hiding herself, so Sheila Rae does not know her sister Louise is following her. Sheila Rae started off by skipping. "I am brave," she's saying. "I am fearless." She stepped on every crack, and she walked backwards with her eyes closed. She growled at the stray dogs, and she bared her teeth at the stray cats. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. She climbed up them and broke their fingers off. Snap, snap, snap. Looks like she still doesn't see her sister, who's following her home. Sheila Rae walked and walked. She turned corners and she crossed streets. And then it suddenly occurred to Sheila Rae that nothing looked familiar. Sheila Rae heard frightening noises. They sounded worse than thunder. She thought horrible thoughts. They were worse than anything she had ever imagined. "I am brave," Sheila Rae tried to convince herself. "I am fearless." She's feeling really sad, really scared. She's just really unfamiliar with everything here. The sounds became more frightening. The thoughts became more horrible. Sheila Rae sat down on a rock and cried. "Help!" she sniffed. She thought of her father and her mother and Louise. Mother, Father, Louise, she cried. Here I am, a voice said. Louise, Sheila Rae hugged her sister. We're lost, Sheila Rae said. No, we're not, said Louise. I know the way home. Follow me. Louise stepped on every crack. And she walked backwards with her eyes closed. And she growled at the stray dogs. And she bared her teeth at the stray cats. And she pretended that the trees were evil creatures. And she jumped up and she broke their fingers off because she's snipping with her mouth on the vines. Snap, snap, snap. Sheila Rae walked quietly behind her. They walked and walked. They crossed streets and they turned corners. Soon their house could be seen between the trees. Sheila Rae grabbed Louise and she dashed up the street. Look, Sheila Rae is now pulling Louise. When they reached their own yard and the gate was closed behind them, Sheila Rae said, Louise, you are brave. You are fearless. We both are, said Louise, and they walked backwards into the house with their eyes closed. The end. Oh, and here's the author, Kevin Henkes. So this book was called Sheila Rae the Brave. Thanks for coming to Storytime, friends, and I'll see you next time.